Hey, what's up everybody? It's Danny with Hip Hops. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be talking about Pipeworks Brewing Company's mini hats, and I'm going to be pairing that up with Testicolo y Uno's HiHat Club Volume 1. So stay tuned. I'll talk about the artist a little bit, play a couple of my favorite tracks, as well as taste test the beer. And remember, if you could like and subscribe to my page, it would help me a lot. Thank you. All right, so Pipeworks Brewing Company is located here in Chicago. When I got into craft beer, they were one of the newer craft brewers. Now I feel like they're sort of known as like one of the ones that's been around the block for a while. This is Mini Hats. It's a double hazy IPA, and it's brewed with Azaka, Idaho 7, and Cryo Simcoe hops. And it comes in at 8% ABV. So let's give it a crack. So mini hats refers to the fact that the beer is supposed to be juicy like a hazy IPA, as well as providing a little bit of bitterness. So it's wearing mini hats in creating it here. And you can see here it's got all sorts of different styles of hats, from the Viking hat here, to the sailor's cap here, cowboy hat, all kinds of hats here. All right, so you can see that the beer is a very like golden, hazy IPA. It's not one of the darker ones. Let's see what it smells like. So you do get the hazy IPA hops, which would make sense with the Azaka and the Idaho 7 and the Cryo. Yeah, I'm not smelling too much bitterness or any pine or anything like that. So let's see how much bitterness it does have. So it does have a good bit of bitterness. It gives you the bitter punch up front, and then that sort of fades away and you get the juiciness, and then you have a slight bitterness that rests on the tongue after the first sip there. Yeah, this is good. The bitterness up front sort of prevents it from being like crushable or whatever people would say, which I enjoy, because when you start getting these sweet hazy IPAs, it can become a little taxing. This one though, I feel like that bitterness up front and in the end, there's enough dimension to it to where you're gonna wanna keep drinking it and pulling different things from it. As far as what fruits I'm getting, definitely getting like a pineapple, maybe some other tropical fruits, but pineapple for sure. Yeah, the bitterness is good at sort of breaking up the taste. And so like every time you go in for a new sip, it like wipes your palate with that bitterness, and then you get the hazy IPA flavor profile. And then it has a nice bitterness, sort of like an old school IPA, but not quite as bitter at the end there. So the HiHat Club is a series that was done by Melting Pot Music, which they're a label that's based in Cologne, Germany. And Testicolo y Uno is the first series of the 7. There's 7 total albums that were released. The last one was released in 2015. Supposedly they're supposed to be making a couple more, but only time will tell if that comes to fruition. So Testicolo y Uno, they're more well known as Hodn here and Twit 1. And you can see on the back here, so Twit is here on this side and Hodn's on this side. These are both beat makers who are from Cologne, Germany as well. And the Melting Pot Music really established the beat scene in Germany. It sort of took it to the next level and took it internationally. A lot of these guys are crate diggers. They're true students of hip hop. They love music in general, jazz, funk, and their beats and their music that they create definitely shows that. And like I said, this is the first release in the HiHat Club series, and this was released in 2009. The last one was released in, number 7 was released in 2015. And it's sort of an iconic album cover. It's done by photographer Robert Winter, who is also from Germany. And he did this shot as well. And the inside here, you can see it's just on black vinyl, but you can see it's just on the black vinyl. But the labels there, it has close-up pictures from what the album cover is, and they wanted to show sort of their scene of like what their workspace looks like when they're creating beats. And as you can see here on the front cover here on this label here, you got a Curtis Mayfield 7-inch. So just to give you a little flavor of what these guys are spinning. And Twit 1 is one of my favorite German beat makers. And this sort of, I know the European beat makers, a lot of them are known for the lo-fi type of music, but the HiHat Club, and specifically these two artists, these guys are way more boom bap. I mean, they're gonna be more influenced by like a DJ Premier, Pete Rock, and with an influence from Jay Dilla as well, versus a lot of lo-fi artists are gonna be more exclusively like Jay Dilla and Nujabes. Not that these guys aren't influenced by them, but the feel that you're gonna get is more along like that 90s boom bap style of beat. So the album is split. Side A is all Twit 1 beats, and side B is all Hulk Hodn beats. So I'm gonna give you a couple of each. So we're gonna start with track number 1, One for Bandini. And this one sort of showcases Twit 1's use of samples. And he's great at using vocal samples, jazz samples, funk samples, I mean, instrumental. He does a really great job of cherry picking different samples and combining them into a new song. Next song I'm going to give you is also by Twit 1. It's called Ahab vs. Tarantula, and this one is just another great Twit 1 beat, and he has a very distinct style. If you start listening to him, you can definitely pick up on his beats when they start. So that's going to be all for the Twit 1 side. Now we're going to move to side B with Hulk Hodn's beats, and I'm going to start with track number 3 on side B. It's called Esekati, and I might be mispronouncing that, but this will give you a little flavor of what Hulk Hodn's about. So this beer definitely gives what's promised on the label with the mini hats. It's a bitter IPA that also has the juicy fruity notes. And it's not like the pine bitterness that you would perceive in like a West Coast IPA. It's definitely a hazy bitterness, but it's a welcome change up from a lot of the hazies that are made today, which Pipeworks really made their name on their IPA game, so they know a thing or two about using hops. But I definitely will be checking out more of their newer hazy IPAs. I haven't had too many of them yet. As far as melting pot music, Twit 1, Hulk Hodn, I definitely recommend checking out all of the HiHat Club series. This is the only one I have as of right now. The other ones are all on my want list. So I'll definitely be hopefully picking those up over some time. They're not too hard to find. They've been, I guess, repressing them. But this one is one to start with, and it's definitely a classic in the German beat scene. There's a story to tell about the beat barbecues that they had, and really the scene that the music over there, the instrumental music, speaks for itself, and they don't feel like they need rappers over them. And I think that that's definitely true, and it's something you can have on in the background, or it's something that you can have on and really focus on. But definitely check out other melting pot music or labels, or the label. Check out other albums. Check out these two artists' individual albums. So that's going to be all for this pairing. I'm going to play one more Hulk Hodn beat, which is called Later, on the outro. But until next week, try a new beer, listen to some new music, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.